Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to A Better World with Adrian. I am so excited to be here. I have never felt more on fire for my mission, for my vision, for my life path, and I'm just so grateful to share this space with you. This is my offering to the collective. This is my offering to humanity. This is an unrestricted vocal channel for you to level up, for you to heal, for you to grow. So I want you to use this episode as fuel for your vision, as a nourishing place to come and grow and expand. And may this be for the highest timeline and good of all. Today's episode is very snappy, very fiery, and it's an inverse. So it's called The Perfect Recipe for Mediocrity. And first of all, it's a rhyme, which just makes it more fun. And if you know anything about me and my world, fun and play are just a part of it. You know, if we think about the idea of a better world, literally play and fun and joy are at the helm. Like the more we play, the more we prosper. And what does prosper mean? Unconditional love, unconditional freedom, unconditional abundance for all people everywhere. It's just a fun thing to say, the perfect recipe for mediocrity. And I find so much power in flipping something on its switch, like flipping something on its head to gain a new perspective. Like everybody's focusing like, how can I be successful? How can I do this? How can I do that? But it's like we've got to get down to the brass tacks of the situation of what is creating what you do not want. And if we want a better world, we very simply cannot allow mediocrity. And mediocrity is the status quo. It's being average. It's just being okay. And I'm going to get into this in the episode, but I really view mediocrity as spiritual negligence. It really is a sign and a symptom that you are not anywhere near tapping into your potential because I believe and know in every fiber of my being that you were born for greatness. We were all born for greatness, and we all have very unique, amazing talents and skills and gifts to share. And they all require us to master skill sets in the earthly plane. And it's like you were born for that. There's something that only you can do in your specific way. And you can't be mediocre. You've got to be world class at what only you can do. And achieving greatness and your potential and excellence is the name of the game. So we're going to flip things on its head and we're just going to go into the perfect recipe for mediocrity. This is what I see, what I've seen in hundreds and hundreds of clients coaching in breath work, what I've seen coaching, honestly, probably thousands in music at this point. Just an extreme high performance in music. This is going to be a powerful one, so I'm excited. Before we fully dive in, let us call upon the altar. The altar is how we say thank you in advance to spirit. The altar is what makes this podcast different. It's what makes it a transmission, a ceremony, a prayer in motion. And the first thing on the altar are these amazing fuchsia, orange and red roses. And if you aren't starstruck, which, by the way, if you are listening to this episode and you want to go deep with me in eclipse season and quantum leap in eclipse season, March 2025, pause this episode, go sign up for the Starstruck immersion right now. I have a deep dive just on these flowers on the altar alone. I have an audio training waiting for you. It's all about abundance. These flowers that I was guided to, I saw them in a vision and breath work, and I manifested them in the most magical way at the flower shop. And they just represent unconditional power and creativity. And what does unconditional mean? It means no matter what. It means no matter what. And that's really what we're being called into for New Earth is like no matter what. And that's why mediocrity just cannot be, right? If you're here to help steward a better world, a world we're proud of. So we have unconditional power and creativity on the altar in these roses. I am wearing my brand new onesie, my leopard print onesie. That's on the altar. And what I've been getting a lot of is how much our spirit animals are becoming even more important to us. And I've been getting a lot of tiger energy. I've been getting a lot of cheetah energy. And then I got guided to this onesie and I'm like, yes, and that's my onesie. And that's my onesie. And I asked Spirit for a sign. And I was like, okay, if I'm supposed to get this onesie and treat myself, just show me a sign. Show me a sign in cash flow. And then, like 10 minutes later, somebody bought one of my products. And I was like, yes, I'm getting the onesie. And when you think about an altar, your body's an altar. And I'm working a lot with people in Holy Habits Hive Mind on this. I'm working a lot with Starstruck on this because there's a lot of Virgo energy and habits being activated with the South Node in Virgo. Like the way you adorn your temple is a reflection of your spirituality. It unlocks your gifts. Why do you think I wear rings and earrings and all of the stuff? Like, yes, I love beautiful things and I'm worshiping spirit. Like how I adorn my temple is worship. It really is. It's saying thank you. So that animal guide print is like really, really important right now. I have white lilies on the altar, purifying the space. This is dropping right before the equinox. The equinox is a time of equal parts light and dark. It's a balancing, it's a tipping point. On the altar, I have a white unscented candle burning, purifying our space. And the final piece of our altar, life force energy. 3 deep breaths together. No matter where you are tuning into this episode, be here now. Feel your feet underneath you, connecting to Mother Earth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Open up your arms nice and wide. Take up space. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Feel the orange creativity power from the roses. Inhale through the nose. Open up your ears, open up your brain to new pathways, new ideas. Exhale out the mouth. Gently open your eyes. Come back to this time. This podcast portal is open. We are ready to channel with spirit. Okay. The perfect recipe for mediocrity. So this episode is designed to activate you, it's designed to expose things to you, and it's designed to really get into the details of what does create mediocrity so then you can do the opposite. So this is kind of like a how not to guide, but through a fun, playful lens. So again, mediocrity is choosing to be subpar. It's choosing to be average. Mediocrity is spiritual negligence. Literally, the whole point of life is for you to be the best version of you can be and make a positive impact in the world. Like that is the whole point of life, to me. And that's based on my spiritual path. That's based on my call in this lifetime. I was raised very much that way. Like the highest expression of self-respect, self-love, and self-trust is becoming world-class at what you do, walking the path of mastery, walking the path of spiritual mastery, emotional mastery, mastery of your craft, physical mastery, like energetic mastery, all of these things. And so if something's mediocre, it means it's medium or low quality. It's ordinary, it's so-so, it's meh. You did not come here to be meh. And guess what? Average is crowded. Meh is crowded. The status quo is crowded. So even if you just take it from like a data lens, like if you want to accelerate and expand on repeat and achieve your potential, you literally cannot allow mediocrity. And by the way, it's harder There's more competition at the mediocre level. If you can rise above that, you will fly. It's an open lane, baby. If you want to read more about this topic, you should definitely read the book 10x is Easier Than 2x by Benjamin Hardy. When I came across this book, I had no idea that I had subconsciously been 10xing in my life, just like through the quilt of things I gathered together through my spiritual path and just being in a high performance environment my whole life. I never really thought anything of it. And then I was like, oh, wow, he's literally sharing like gold, pure gold, pure gold, baby. So here it is. I have 12 bullet points for the perfect recipe for mediocrity. Okay. Number one is to avoid. If you want to be mediocre, avoid things at all costs. Avoid discomfort, avoid confrontation, avoid the truth, avoid your feelings, avoid, avoid, avoid. Okay, one of the most powerful prompts you can give yourself if you are experiencing something and a result that you do not want in your life, which, by the way, every single thing in your life is a result. This is like radical responsibility time. Like, however, it's doused in rainbows and unicorn and magic. Enjoy. But joy is a responsibility too. You know how relentless I've got to be? You know how much mental command I've got to have to choose joy every single day in this world right now? I've got to reject. I've got to actually reject most of the propaganda in the world to stay in my power and my joy. Okay, that's true power. That's true abundance. Joy is true abundance. Joy is true abundance. Yeah, if you want to be mediocre, avoid. Avoid everything. Avoid everything. Avoid everything. What happens when you avoid? You lie to yourself. And the most powerful way for you to uplevel your life at any point, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? I'm going to do it right now. That phone call, that conversation, that ouch, I don't want to look at these numbers. When I was broke as a joke, I avoided looking at my bank account at all costs because I was so deeply uncomfortable and my nervous system was totally shot out of whack. Yeah, that really created a lot more of me being broke and unhappy and disempowered. That was some mediocre behavior, right? And just because most people do it doesn't mean you'll do it. And that's the big premise of this episode is like somebody said to me the other day, they were like, you know how many people wouldn't do that? Wouldn't do what I just did? And I just looked at them and I was like, yo, mediocrity is not the bar for you. Why are you even entertaining that? That's not for you. So that's really what I'm bringing through in this episode is like, mediocrity is not for you. It literally is not for you. Like, you are a divine child of the stars, and living your divinity means excellence, means mastery, means rising above. Okay. So a perfect recipe for mediocrity, first thing is to avoid. Okay. Second thing to for mediocrity, distract yourself. Distract yourself with the scroll, distract yourself, numb yourself with food, with TV, with other people's problems. Drama is just really trendy distraction. You get caught up in other people's problems that aren't even your business. Why? Because you're avoiding your own problems. Which it's like a really cool fusion and distraction of or fusion of avoidance and distraction. Drama is. That's like a recipe for mediocrity, an extreme one. And we see it all the time. Reality TV, like watching The Bachelor. Do you know how what I did the first year that I really started taking off into my potential? I gave up TV for a year. I heard one of my coaches say, and it's not that you need to give up TV for a year, but I'm definitely someone that if something comes through my field and I think it's hard, I want to do it just to show myself that I can do it and see what's possible. I did that with a marathon. I've did that with so many things. Um, I I was like, "Oh, I heard someone gave up TV for a year and they made it their year of books." And I was like, oh, I'll read for a year. And then I heard one of my most powerful coaches say, like, stop watching TV. Is they're like, if you want to make more money and be more successful in any part of your life, every time you watch TV, you're watching other people make money and other people make dreams instead of you making your own money and your own dreams. And I was like, oh, wow. And so what did I do? I built my first vision the year I wasn't watching TV. It's all a distraction. Now, I do watch TV for fun intentionally sometimes, more like movies and documentaries, because I'm very specific about what I allow into my subconscious mind. However, like a powerful prompt for you is like, what are you distracting yourself from? A lot of people have gone into distraction to not feel the truth of what's going on in the world right now. Hashtag fascism's back. Hashtag genocide's back. Hashtag shit's gonna happen in America in April. And I've been given very direct guidance from spirit not to share specifics of the things that I know are coming. And I also am saying in this space, you've got to be ready for things that are coming that are very extreme. Okay. And if you want to get in my world and work with me, I highly recommend Starstruck. It's $11 a day. Highly recommend my Equinox breath work. It's going to be live on the Equinox. It's $55. It's going to be so amazing and healing. Um, there is a lot of shit that people want to distract themselves from because it's painful to feel. You can't allow that. That's a recipe for mediocrity. It's also a recipe for suffering and unnecessary pain. I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to be scared. I want you to be prepared so you can meet the moment well. Every single day is full of moments for us to meet, right? Okay, third thing. Perfect recipe for mediocrity. Surround yourself with mediocrity. Surround yourself with people who never make dreams. Surround yourself with people who talk about people and not ideas. Surround yourself with people that just stay in the status quo, that always say things and never do them. I had a moment with myself the other day. I was deeply annoyed and I said out loud, I was like, I have no tolerance for people that say things and never do them. And I got really, really real with myself because I was like, the fact that you're even saying that means you have let mediocrity touch your inner circle. You've let this low vibration behavior past your boundaries. How did that happen? And so I got to take responsibility for that. I was like, wow, like I have let mediocrity touch me more than I should. I take my network very seriously. We're tribal creatures. We calibrate to the rooms we're in. This is why all the people in Starstruck are quantum leaping right now because they're inspiring each other. They're encouraging one another. They're making excellence the normal. If mediocrity is what you're around all the time, you will fall to that. The quickest way to banish mediocrity is don't be around mediocre people. If you're always around people who say things and never do things, you will eventually become that person, right? We are the 5 people we spend the most time with. So it's really, really important. You got to take that seriously, man. The fourth part of the recipe for mediocrity is indecision. I believe indecision creates cancer because it puts you in a constant gridlock of half-assing, half in, half out, half in, half out. People only have burnout when they've made fake decisions. Every day you wake up and you're deciding, oh, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. Oh, I'm going to go for my dreams. Oh, I'm going to not. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's why people burn out. People don't burn out from working hard. People don't burn out from like going full throttle for your dreams. People don't burn out from sustained effort. People burned out from this in out indecision. It was Alex Hermosi that said, money loves speed, wealth loves time, poverty loves indecision. And what we have is a lot of spiritual poverty. People have, if you don't commit, then you get nothing. You automatically get nothing and you swim in a sea of mediocrity. You've got to commit. Commit to the wrong thing. And I swear that will be way more beneficial to you because you will learn and you will build trust with yourself, right? That's a recipe for not trusting yourself if you don't decide, because then you're not a trustworthy person because you never make decisions, right? So, indecision. Perfect recipe for mediocrity. Number 5, scrolling and numbing. If you want to be mediocre, scroll. The average person scrolls for 2 hours at least per day. When you add this up, it comes out to 3 months of 8-hour work weeks per year that you are scrolling and not making dreams. And not only are you not making dreams, you are being programmed at a cellular level in your nervous system to forget who you are, to be in chronic fight or flight, and to believe whatever you see that darkness is spreading through propaganda. Okay, this is some serious shit. 3 months of your life, you're just giving away to the scroll. And I'm not saying that it's easy to stop scrolling. No. If all of this was easy, everyone would do it. That's why you're not everyone. That's why mediocrity is what most people allow and choose for their one precious life, but you cannot allow that because you're not here for that. You wouldn't be listening to this episode if you were here for that, right? So, yeah, scrolling is like if the one thing you master in 2025 is taking command of your digital life and stopping the scroll from controlling you and you take control. One of the mantras I say in my signature program, 3D Moves, I have a whole module in breathwork on digital detox. I say, fuck the scroll, take control. Who's in control? Who's in command of your life and your mind? You are. Don't let darkness play you like that. Don't get played like that. Literally 3 months of every year you're giving away. People ask me, how do you get so much done? How do your clients get so much done? Even if you don't take the nervous system reset into account, we have 3 more months than most people per year. It's just data. It's just science. And people are like, I don't have time to build a dream. It's like, no, you don't have the guts to stop scrolling. You don't have the guts. And that comes from avoidance, right? And distraction and surrounding yourself. If everybody around you is scrolling their life away, then you'll scroll your life away, right? Okay, number 6, recipe for mediocrity, nervous system regulation. This is a sneaky one. Nervous system regulation is a fool's errand sponsored by darkness. People are focused on regulating themselves. You are not here to be regulated, you're here to be liberated. This is why the work I do in my breath work, which if you haven't come, please come to the Equinox breath work. Like seriously, it's going to be so amazing. You get lifetime access to the replay. I just got the spiritual hit. You definitely, as a podcast listener, will be getting a code for that. I'll put it in the show notes. I want it to be such an easy yes for you to experience this. If you don't reset your nervous system from the root, you will be looping, never touching the root of the part of you that controls 95% of your decisions all day. If you don't do consistent nervous system reset, then you are choosing to live with only 5% of your potential online because your subconscious controls 95% of your decisions. That's a recipe for mediocrity. So if you are focusing on regulating your nervous system, you got sent on a fool's errand. That's a major distraction. Again, with the distraction, it's a recipe for mediocrity. Okay, number 7, spend versus invest. Most people spend and choose instant gratification rather than invest. All right. If you want to be mediocre, you will spend for a quick hit of false light, and then you will never invest for long-term things. So it's like, do you spend on the quick hit of like, oh, I'm going to go like have a bunch of alcohol and have quote unquote fun, or are you going to invest in a gym membership and healthy organic food for the health and the lasting long-term joy and light you really want in your soul? Okay. Spending versus investing goes all the way, there's all different levels of it. It's like, spending thousands of dollars on a coach or a mentor. That's like a long-term investment, or like investing in real estate, like it's all this stuff. But if you want to be mediocre, do quick, cheap hit spending that just gets you instant gratification. If you want to be amazing, invest powerfully. Invest powerfully. Okay, 8. In the recipe for mediocrity, believe everything you see. Mediocre people live their life from have they live their life based on their external circumstance. People who are excellent live life based on their vision. If you have a vision, that means you're holding something and you're bringing something through that hasn't existed yet. Mediocrity focuses on the external circumstance. They focus on what they see in the news. They believe hook, line, and sinker everything they read on the internet. Do not believe everything you read on the internet, by the way. And I even say to my clients all day, every day, I'm like, you are the authority on you. I love when my clients push back. I love it. I'm like, yes, because first, this is exposing a place where we can go deeper. There's probably a breakthrough here. And second of all, like, be discerning. There's a lot of charlatans out there. There's a lot of coaches that just want you to believe, or there's people everywhere that just want you to believe everything that they say and not question. That's the big problem in our world. Like, people don't question everything. That's why unconditional power is the bedrock of my work. That's why I love breath work, because I don't create my clients' transformations. I hold the space for you to create your own transformation in your body. I cannot give that to you. I cannot take that from you. That's you, right? Now, it's my job to hold an immaculate space for you to be able to go deep with deep integrity and skill and love. And it's like, if you want to be mediocre, believe everything you see around you and take that as truth. If I believed everything in my literal 3D reality, I would never make a dream, because I would be the effect instead of the cause. I am the cause. It's be, do, have, not have, do, be in the game of creation. A lot of people are like, oh, this is what I have, and this is what I must do, and then I will be it. And it's like, no, it's the opposite. It's be, do, have. You've got to become the match. You're the one being manifested. You become that frequency, be, and then you do things from that frequency, do, and then have. That's when your circumstance changes. That's when it arrives in the 3D plane. Okay, number 9, ignore your intuition. If you want to be mediocre, ignore your intuition. I can't tell you how many decisions I've made based on my intuition that make no sense to the logical mind, that make no sense. And then I realized months later, I was being divinely protected from a bad business deal. I was being protected from this. I was being rerouted towards this. It was being orchestrated that I ran into this person at this time in this specific way. Okay. If you want to be mediocre, ignore your intuition, override your intuition. If you cannot access your intuition, you are automatically living in mediocrity. A lot of people ask me, they're like, how do I know if it's fear or intuition? Well, first, it's an interpersonal, intimate game that you must play and be in the experimentation of to understand how it expresses in your body. And if you have not done deep, potent, consistent nervous system reset, you will never be able to access your true, pure intuition. It will always be tainted with trauma, with pain, with past emotions that haven't been alchemized, with a hardened heart. Okay. Your intuition is an inner GPS. Your life is meant to be a lot more efficient and magical. Like, It's that animal part of you, right? We have this leopard print onesie I'm wearing. Like, it's the animal part of you, your animal instinct. Your animal instinct that says something's wrong. And it's those stories that you hear people say, they're like, I knew from the beginning, and they ignored it. It's like, I knew on the first date they weren't the one. And yet I dated them for a year. Why? Because I overrid my intuition. And then that year they could have met their soulmate, but their soulmate married someone else because they ignored their intuition. Now, we have multiple soulmates on this lifetime, and I could do a whole thing on that. But if you want to be mediocre, ignore your intuition. If you want to be amazing, obey your intuition beyond logic. A lot of people ask me why I do certain things. And it's like, well, my intuition is the safest bet. More than any strategy, more than any like people want to know my strategy for a lot of things. I'm like, listen to my body and do what my body says, even if my mind thinks I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, number 10. Recipe for mediocrity is disconnect yourself from Mother Earth and magic. You are born for magic. You are naturally magical. You are a piece of Mother Earth. Mother Earth, if you want to answer any question about life, you've got to go to Mother Earth. She has the answer. It's very simple, it's very direct, it's very obvious. If you want to be mediocre, disconnect from Mother Earth. Stop connecting with the land. Be on your screens all day, every day. Don't put your feet on the earth. Don't prioritize outside time. Don't touch trees or stop to smell the roses. Like if you want to be mediocre, disconnect from Mother Earth and magic. If you want to be amazing and excellent, connect to Mother Earth relentlessly and to the ancient codes relentlessly. Like it's so important. And you also stay grounded in a time where people are going to try and sweep you up into chaos. Okay, number 11, trash your body. If you want to be mediocre, trash your body. Fill it with toxic food, fill it with toxic liquid, fill it with poisons like cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, substance. You can trash it energetically, being around low vibrational people that siphon your energy. Um, what I've realized in terms of health is like most people will actively invest in their own dis-ease rather than invest in their health. It's crazy. Like most people would rather pay hundreds, thousands of dollars into a healthcare system that profits off their sickness and take all these drugs, then they'll like be, up in arms about the investment for organic groceries. And it's like, yeah, you could spend an extra $300 a month now for organic, or you can spend $8,000 a month later to be in a nursing home at 60 because you never took care of your temple, the house for your soul. So if you want to be mediocre, trash your body, ignore your health, pretend it doesn't matter when it literally is the only thing. Like a healthy person has a million dreams. A sick person has one to be healthy. I can't remember who first said that, but it's true. Okay, and then the final one is the perfect recipe for mediocrity is to never have coaches, healers, or mentors. None of us have a 360 mirror. None of us can see all of our blind spots. And we've got to have experts around us guiding us, teaching us, showing us in all different ways of life. Like, this is something I really learned from like apprenticeship culture in classical music. From a very young age, I had a pitching coach for softball, I had a batting coach for softball. I had a piano lesson every single week. I had a French horn lesson every single week. And I'm grateful that my parents invested in me. I actually said to my parents a few days ago, I was like, you know, something that you really did for me that is still making an incredible impact is how much you invested in me. Thank you for that. And my dad teared up and he got super emotional. He's a Taurus sun, by the way, a triple Taurus, and I'm a Taurus rising. Um, But yeah, if you want to be mediocre, never invest in people that are going to tell you what you're doing incorrectly and how you can improve. If you want to be great, you will hire mentors and coaches and experts and healers relentlessly because you know that's how you get better faster. You want to hire people that have done what you want to do and they've you want to save time. You want to get better faster, right? The opposite of mediocrity is greatness. People who are great have coaches. People who are great have support. Going alone is a myth. No one ever goes alone. People talk about, oh, I'm a self-made millionaire. No, you're not. You had people open doors for you. You had mentors. You had people give you a piece of advice. I had someone give me a piece of advice at the beginning of my first business that probably saved my entire business during COVID. And it took her 5 minutes to give this to me. She bought me coffee. Talk about abundance. She's a very busy, powerful businesswoman I knew from the yoga space in Chicago, and I knew she was powerful. And one of my strategies at the beginning of my first company was just like talk to powerful people, talk to powerful, successful people who have your values. Because I don't want to be coached by powerful, successful people who don't have my values, because that's not the way I want to do things. And she gave me one piece of advice. That piece of advice, honestly, multi six figures just from that one piece of advice and saving incredible time. Like, so that's the thing is like people don't pay me for my time. People pay me to collapse time. It's like one of my clients, she did a breathwork replay. This isn't a replay, not even in a one-on-one session, not even in a live session. She released something that's been controlling her life for 30 years. 30 years in one 60-minute session. This is why people pay me to collapse time like that. That can't happen if you don't have coaches and healers and mentors. So if you want to be mediocre, never hire those things. If you want to be amazing, hire that relentlessly, relentlessly, relentlessly. So this is the perfect recipe for mediocrity. And I want you to get really real with yourself and just acknowledge which of these are you participating in right now, because this is where your up level is. And when you can delete it and do the opposite of that. So like if let's say yours is you're around a bunch of mediocre people. I want you today to invest in a network of people who aren't mediocre. You could even do it in Starstruck. $11 a day, baby. You've got to do the opposite. Something I do sometimes, it's like an experiment. It's like I'm like, okay, today is a day for George Costanza. And if you don't know who George Costanza is, he is from Seinfeld. He's Jerry's friend. And he would be like, I'm just going to do the opposite day. I'm going to do the opposite of everything I would normally do and see what happens. And he does it and he's like wildly successful. And so some days I'm like, okay, I gotta George Costanza this, man. I gotta George Costanza this. And sometimes it doesn't reap the correct results. However, it always brings clarity. So, this is today's deep dive episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, you did not come here to be mediocre, so stop allowing it and choose differently. And it's really powerful, and it can be like playful and spicy to just invert things this way and be like, yeah, what is the perfect recipe for mediocrity? And how can I like banish this out of my life? Because remember, you're here for greatness, and I love you, and I believe in you. If you want to go deeper into this work with me, Starstruck, March 2025 immersion link is in the show notes. The Sedona retreat is happening May 15th through the 18th. This is a new earth quantum leap unicorn experience where you are doing 4 days of immense healing, immense transformation, immense adventure in person with me and 10 other powerful, powerful souls. The souls signed up so far are like next level. So, I mean, this is the opposite of mediocre, right? Like, it takes a very special person to be like, yes, I'm going to invest time, energy, money. I'm going to, you know, go to the airport, get on a plane, go to sacred land, get off my phone, maybe take a few days off your work or whatever. If you are this unicorn, apply for Sedona today. Like I have some really audacious goals to for for filling this space and I just feel a lot of momentum and a lot of like it's clicking in right now. It's clicking in, it's clicking in, it's clicking in. So if this is you, apply today and we will get you in the door. Sedona's going to be so amazing and magical. Like truly, 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 truly. And I have one space for one-on-one mentorship. So that application is in the show notes as well. I love you. I believe in you. Let's go deep into this. Mediocre is not for you. You're here for greatness, and a better world demands this, and you'll be happier. The secret to happiness is becoming the person you came here to be. Go root these out of your life, delete this recipe, become amazing, become world class again and again and again and again forever. Go make a stranger smile. You have no idea how much that charges the whole field in magic. Be the change, be the light, be the real you. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.